Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we'd have a look at this. This is a Macintosh Classic, as you can see. Now, I picked this up a few years ago from a school auction. It was a high school near me where they built a new high school, equipped it with all the latest equipment, and basically they sold off everything that was in the old high school and then demolished it. And it was actually went with the company that I used to work for, looking for what AV equipment was going cheap. And while we was going around looking at the AV equipment that was for sale, I noticed a mixed lot, and it was this computer, a Mac inkjet printer, and the keyboard and mouse, a carry bag for this, which is about here somewhere. I don't know, it's designed for this, but it come with that big carry bag, and also some old VHS video recorders and a couple of Kumba tape recorders, all in one big mixed lot. And I, including my buyer's premium and everything, I paid 12 quid for the entire lot. I think at least half of that was the buyer's premium. So yeah, I didn't exactly pay a lot for this Mac. I couldn't try it there and then. There was actually no power in the building when there was auctioning all this stuff off. I couldn't try it. It was sold as seen. At that kind of money, I wasn't really going to say no. So I got it home. I switched it on, and it powered up, but it just gave me the sad Mac, and it wouldn't go any further than that. So I stuck it away. And today I got it out thinking I will have a look at it, because it's usually a problem with the hard drive that causes the sad Mac. I've heard that the old 40 meg SCSI hard drives these use are rather unreliable. Anyway, I plugged it in and switched it on today, and now we're getting this. Let's just switch it on. So it did used to boot up, and it used to come up with a screen with a sad Mac, and now all we're getting is that. So this Mac, it looks pretty obvious. It's suffering from the old leak capacitor problem. So I'll get that shut off now. So I think we're going to have a look at recapping this Mac and seeing if we can get it back into working order. So we might as well get it stuck right in. Let's unplug the power and plug it back in there, because that actually is running my soldering iron at the moment. Now, I've not actually opened one of these in quite a long time, so yeah, we're going to have to. You'll have to work along with me. Now, these screws are easy. I think I've got something here which can undo them. Then we've got the fun screws up there to deal with. Now, I do have a way of getting them out, though. I will show you in a minute. Let's see if this will reach for these ones. Yeah. Let's get this back case off. I'm not really much of a Mac aficionado, to be totally honest. I've got a couple of old Macs lying around, but I'm not one of these people that's a massive Mac fanboy. But I do rather like these compact Macs. I do think there's something about the compact Macs. I do have another one. I've got a is it a 256 or a 512 or something? It's one of the very early ones. With no hard drive support on it. Oops, I've dropped one of the screws. Where's that gone now? And I've knocked my mouse off now. Never mind. Ah, there's the screw. Ugh. Right, so that's them two screws out. Now we've got to deal with the two screws up here. Now, normally you have a special tool for taking them screws out. Unfortunately, I've got this. Now, I've had this for literally years and years and years, and what it is is it's a upgrade kit. I've had this long before I ever got one of these, and it's just been lying around in my stores. It's actually an upgrade kit for the Compact Max. It allows you to put more than 4 megabytes of RAM in them. I think you can put up to 8 megabytes in with this accelerator card, or this expansion card that something I picked up years ago. But what it comes with is that, which is a basically a key to open the top of the Mac. It also comes with that, which is a case spreader for the Mac. I mean, they're cheap and nasty, but hopefully they should do the trick. So we'll stick this in the hole in there. Hopefully we can get it in. So obviously you can get a Torx screwdriver or something to do this, but seeing as I had it, it does the job. I think that's the first screw loose. Let's try and get it in the hole. There we go, that's in. And that's that one. That's that one loose. That's that one out actually. Have a look at the top again. Come on, come out. There we go. Right, here's something interesting to note. Don't get the screws mixed up. The black ones there are out of the base, and the silver ones are out of the top. I didn't actually know this. The silver one has a coarser thread than the black one, so if you mix them two up, you'll, especially if you try to put a silver one down there, you'll bugger up the machine thread in the frame. Right, now, I presume this is where this tool comes in. Now I think the idea is you put it in the gap and use it to, there we go. There we are, I think that's, there we are. And we're in. Let me just gently slide this out. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Okay, so there for now. And, oh dear, that doesn't look so good. As we can see, we have some serious corrosion around here. Let's get that tool out of the way. We seem to have some kind of memory expansion. I don't know if that's original to this computer or if that's an expansion that's been fitted there, but we have that. But what we want to do is get this main board out so we can have a look at the capacitors on it. Trying to avoid the analog board here and all the nasty 240 volt bits around here. Not that it's that dangerous, because there's a plastic that covers all the exposed bits on the back of there, and there's some big capacitors in there which will hold a charge. If you touch one of them, it's going to hurt. They aren't as dangerous as some people make out, these things. They do have a danger. You've got to be careful working around them. Don't touch them if you don't know what you're doing. You're not going to fry yourself on the logic board or any of this stuff around here. This here and that are the ones that have got the potential to cause you some harm. But you've got to be being really stupid, really, to do your harm on them. I'm not going to really talk too much about them on this video because we're not going to touch any of that side of it. I am going to be doing a video soon repairing a little Mac 12-inch colour monitor where we are going to have to disconnect the CRT, discharge the CRT and things like that. When I come on to that video, I will go more in depth into the safety aspect of that, but for now we don't need to touch it, so I'm not going to go into it. We're going to concentrate on the logic board down here. Right, like I said, I've never worked on one of these before, so I think what I'm doing now is going to be suck it and see. We'll take that RAM out, which I'm not even sure what they are. I think they might be 1 meg. The Kingston, I presume they're 1 meg, so there's what, 3 meg on there and 1 meg on board, so that'll be 4 meg. Right, let's disconnect the, I presume that's the floppy drive. We'll disconnect the hard drive. We'll look at that later. Like I said, we just want to get it back up so we actually we can get a screen on it, and we'll take it from there. We'll just reach in here and just disconnect the power connector. That's the power connector off. Now, I'm pretty sure that the board does just slide out on these. Yep, here we go. Oh dear. Right. Well, this isn't looking so good. We'll get this out of the way. We'll get a bit of light in. And, oh dear, look at this. Now, unfortunately, this is a problem that you do get with old Macs. I must say that the motherboard on this thing is absolutely tiny. But yeah, that does not look good, does it? If we can see here, let me get my pointing device. As we can see here, the battery has literally, yeah, that's wet. The battery has literally exploded. Rather violently, actually. It seems to have blown out that entire side there. There is corrosion and rust everywhere. This entire piece of the board there, it's actually blown bits of the battery. That must have gone with a real pop, I think. It seems to have shot bits of the battery everywhere. The connections on them capacitors have just actually disintegrated. Yeah, I think this is going to be another one like that 500 plus that I'm working on at the moment. I wasn't expecting quite this much damage in here, I must admit. This has shocked me a little bit. I was nowhere near expecting that kind of damage. Right, well, first thing we better do is take that battery out and have a bit of a clean up and see what we've got. I was hoping this would be a quick one-parter showing this thing working, but obviously that's not going to be. This is going to be a bit more of a... let's see, how's that for lighting? This camera is crap for lighting, it really is. It's either not enough or too much. You've never got a happy medium with it. Let's winkle Mr. Evil battery out. Dear me, look at that. That'll go in the bin. And then, oh well, there's nothing left of that contact on that side there, apart from this sticky, messy, rusty residue. Oh dear. Well, this really is in a very, very, very bad state. There's an IC there that's no legs left on it. It's actually eaten the legs away. Yeah, this is not looking good at all. Well, if this is ever going to work again. Oh, actually, it just, yeah, right, it's the real-time clock that there, so we may get away with this thing possibly still working even without that. These contacts here have gone. They've just been eaten away. There's nothing left of them. I might be able to get something back on them, but it's dear me, I've never seen one. Well, I have. I've seen that other that other Mac that I've got that's had a battery explode in it and been left for years. I must admit, I didn't actually know that the battery was on board on these. I thought it was in a little case off board, but never mind. Let's give that a quick. I'll get that off my bench because it's probably rather corrosive. I'll clean that off my bench. No, this isn't looking good at all. Let's get a cotton bud and some isopropyl, and we'll have to be careful around here that I don't lose any components. There's a crystal there. I'm not too concerned about that because it does seem to be just the real-time clock, and we can possibly get away without a real-time clock. And up here that's sound, so again we could possibly get away, at least to get it to boot without sound on it. Ooh. Get some isopropyl and cotton bud, and we'll just have a quick clean up and see quite how much damage there is. Let's start round here. Yeah, this isn't good at all. What we may be better off doing is taking that holder. I mean, it's no good now. Take that holder off the board, and at least we can see how much damage there is around it, and it'll help us clean up some of the terrible mess that we've got here. This will be an absolute miracle if I can ever get it to work again, I think. And the backside doesn't. Oh, it's even come through the via there. And see, well, you can see too well on here. Could really do with my USB microscope to show you this, but if you can see that, yeah, clean my probe up. But if you can actually see here, if you can see the. Let me see if I can get that better on shot. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there, if you can see the green there, that's where it's actually come right through the via. We've got the solder tabs there for the battery. Yeah, it's even attacked them. Is this going to unsolder? There's nothing even left of the solder. The solder's completely gone here. That side's better, but that side there's just nothing. There's nothing left. Nothing left at all. Well, let's get the soldering iron on. We'll see if we can get that battery holder off. We'll have a clean up round here. We may see if we can get anything on screen then. I'm still suspecting that these capacitors are all bad. But what we can do is we'll have a clean round them with some isopropyl and see if that'll get them to spark up again. It might do. I've heard stories of people washing these boards, getting all the conductive electrolyte off from round these capacitors. And actually the board will fire up again for a time. It's going to fail again, but it would fire up for a time. I don't want to go around sticking a load of new capacitors on this thing for it to be absolutely dead and have no chance of ever working again. Like I said, there's no way that real-time clock's ever going to go again, because some of the actual pins on it are missing. They've disintegrated. The end pin there's disintegrated. Most of these don't look like they're very long for this earth. All the rest seem okay. That's got some green deposits on it, but at least all the legs are still intact. Same here. Same here. It's just that VLSI chip there, which says next to it, I can't read that, UA2 RTC, which I presume stands for real-time clock. It would make sense because there's a crystal. So yeah, it may still work with that dead. We will see. But first things first, we'll get that battery holder off there, and we will have a clean up round, see what we can accomplish. Then even on the back here, oops, that's not my probe. Even on the back here, these wires are going to need attending to. There's two there that have gone green. I'm pretty certain that they'll be shot. Again, there's another wire there that's corroded out. There's some more around here that look like they're, yeah, all the wires here, which do just appear to go to one resistor each, or possibly. Can't see anything around that side yet, so we shall see. That's all I can say, is we shall see. Let's see how the old soldering iron's getting on. Yeah, that's okay. We'll add some fresh solder to that battery terminal there. I think we're going to have the same issue that we had with the Amiga board, where the solder's gone all crystalline and it won't unsolder. This one's, is it coming off? It is coming off. It's rather tricky to do this with a camera where I've got it, but we shall see. There we go, that's out. Put the soldering iron back down. So yeah, dear me. I can go in the bin. Again, we'll just give the workbench a little clean off. So let's see what the damn. Oh dear me! Look at that. That's not good at all. Right, so let's get on with a cotton bud. Let's see if we can get some of this corrosion off. Dear me, this is bad. And here was me thinking this would be a nice, easy, quick little repair. I need something a bit more abrasive to shift some of that. Let's see what else we've got. There we go. It's a very small wire brush here. It can be useful just for don't want to go too mad with it. You're just using it to get the worst of the corrosion off. But don't go too mad with it, because you risk taking components off the board. But if you are gentle with it, it is just enough just to there we go. Let's come in with this. You do have to be careful doing this. You don't want to actually break a trace that's still good. You're just trying to scrape the residue of the loose corrosion off, or at least break it up enough that when you go over with the cotton bud and some isoprop, that then removes it. That's the worst there, which fortunately is just on the ground plane, so that's not the end of the world. Right, let's go over that with a bit of isopropp. So, clean the board down again. Let's bring this back in. Get a couple of cotton buds. Okay. That's it. Now we've cleaned it up, it's not as horrendous as it first looked. I mean, it's still pretty bad, but what we're going to do is we're going to clean all the corrosion off round here. We're not going to go mad at it, we're just going to get as much as we can off, just like this. And we're going to go round all these capacitors. And the idea is that any leaking electrolyte on them caps we're just going to get off temporary. And we will see if we can get the board to do anything at all. Now, like I said, I'm not holding out that much hope with this one because it is very, very corroded, but we can try. Okay. See, yes. Let's try and get some more in here. Okay. There we go. Well, yeah, there's definitely some crud coming off there, if nothing else. We'll just have a quick round there again. And we're going to need to see if we can get these contacts cleaner than they are, if they've got any chance of actually making a connection. So let's give them another quick go over with the wire brush. I'm sure people are horrified that I'm doing this to a Apple Mac, but when there's one in this condition, then you've not got that much to lose, really, have you? There we go, they're nice and shiny again. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit, tin a little bit of solder up on the top of them, just to see that they stay nice and bright like that, because the plating's gone completely and we're down to the original, the copper on them. Just a tiny touch. Just like that. Now you don't want to put too much on. Just a little bit. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in with the old solder braid. I'm going to take most of that back off again. Like that. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this, come on, off you come. It's simply because we don't want that too thick on there, otherwise it's going to damage the contacts that connector slots into. So there we go, there, at least we can get a good contact on them now. So I think all we can do is we're going to put this back in the Mac and see if we've made any improvement, and then we'll decide whether to what to do from there, whether to give up on it, find another board, possibly replace the capacitors anyway and see whether it'll do anything, or turn it into a fish tank, which I'd rather not do, to be honest. There's been far too many classic Macs turned into fish tanks. So anyway, we'll just put that to one side for a second. Let's put it where it's safe there. We'll bring the Mac back in. Let's move you back a bit so you can see what's going on. There we go. So we've got the old Mac back in. Now I'm not going to bother connecting the disk drive or the hard disk up. I'm just going to connect up enough to see whether this thing's going to do anything. So, are we in the right place? Ah, there we go. That's slotting in now. So we'll slot that back where it lives. Oops. Ah, right, because that's not in its slot, that's why. I'm going to have to use some Q rust or something on this chassis as well, because the amount of corrosion is significant, shall we say. Okay, now that appears to be in. Okay, yep, that appears to be in. The connector there is in. Oh, what the hell, let's plug the hard drive and the floppy back in. So I'm not expecting it really to work, but we'll plug them back in and see if it does anything. We won't bother putting the extra RAM in. We'll leave that out for now. Right, we'll borrow my IC lead from the soldering iron. Plug this back in, and let's see if it does anything. Okay. Are we going to get anything on screen? No. Nope, it's exactly the same. In fact, there's more artifacts on there than there were last time. So, what do we do from here on? Let's switch that back off. So yeah, that's where we're up to. We've investigated it. We've found out that the battery has well and truly gone boom in it. There is some quite severe corrosion. Let me unplug that. There's some quite severe corrosion. Let me show you there. Down there, and you've seen how much corrosion's on the actual motherboard. So what do we do? What do we do? I think what we will do is we'll change the capacitors on it. We'll clean up that board a bit more, and we'll have a look at them vias, see if they're still actually making some contact. If they're not, we'll have to clean them out and put a bodge wire in there to replace them. So we won't worry too much at the moment about that real-time clock, because I'm pretty sure this thing should run without it. Yeah, I think that's going to be the plan of action for this thing. So, first things first is I'll order some capacitors. I don't think I've got quite enough surface mount in stock. Actually, I'm quite short on surface mount stuff. So I'll have a look over it, find out what new capacitors I need. We'll change them. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to bother if it was this bad, but sod it. We'll see if we can get this thing to go. We're talking about 50p's worth of capacitors. We'll get some new surface mount caps. We'll get them on the board, and we'll clean them vias up, and we'll see if we can get the thing to fire up. So I'll leave it at that for today, and look out for a part 2 of this. So yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.